In life, many moments pass us by, but then there are certain experiences that make a lasting impact on our life. This trip was one of those. This is Matt. Matt started a faith-based online community for young guys that I've been a part of called Elevate. It's pretty cool. You should join. Every few months, they have these epic in-person meetups where we have fun on some awesome adventure across the country. When he asked me to go on their next trip last month, I said, I am so in. But this meetup was special. It was their first international trip. But that's actually not why it was so special. It would be the group's first ever mission trip. This meant we were going to be focused on serving the community and helping others. And it would take place in Costa Rica, in a town called Jaco. A few years ago, Matt got connected with a guy named Todd, who is part of a church down there called Horizon. Horizon is making a huge impact on the community by serving the locals and spreading the gospel. We wanted to help as well, and that's where the story begins. After meeting at the airport, taking the bus to our Airbnb, and getting settled in, we started off the first day by heading to the church.
We gotta wrap up some burritos, share the gospel with them, let them know Jesus loves them. Let's get cracking, Jake.
Through this little burrito ministry of ours, we heard some amazing and unique stories. It was a reality check into how the rest of the world lives outside of the bubble we'd grown up in. Ramu, one of our translators and helpers, was a powerful example of someone who had been through a lot but was able to overcome it and is now helping others.
So I was kind of curious about your story a little bit. Like you were talking about, were you kind of in that same situation?
Oh, I was worse than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was stuck on drugs and alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't have anywhere to sleep.
Wow. Did you grow up here? Is that?
I'm from the States. I came down here. I had a kid here, which like he's gone now, but he got kidnapped and murdered as soon as I was starting to get clean. Let's go up in here. And they murdered him. He was 21. It was another gang. They came and grabbed him. I guess they wanted him to sell drugs for them, and he didn't want to. I was just cleaning up, getting off the streets and stuff, rebuilding my relationship with him.
Wow.
Later that day, we visited a place the locals called The Farm. It was a faith-based rehab center for recovering addicts and homeless, where they could stay off the streets and get their lives turned around.
Hey.
Ramu had been through their 6-month program a year prior, and it changed his life.
Hayden, what's all this dirt for?
And this is an extension of the fitness center that we're building here. For these men to have a solid foundation to work out on. They're here to build spiritually, reclaim their lives after being in the street, being in poverty, drugs, whatever their lifestyle may have been before this. And so this is kind of like a safe haven for that. And they do Bible verses, share those with each other, Bible studies, come together, worship every night, share meals together. And then now we're hoping to really push the fitness side of things with this fitness center, show them some workouts today, get a little competition going. So it's gonna be a blast.
Bueno, mi historia comienza pues hace muchos años atrás.
So when he was 15, his dad died, and so that's kind of what got him into the life that he went into, got into drugs, and also, you know, he started working at the same time, so he was able to afford what he was doing.
Cuando llegué la vi, fui y me interné 6 meses.
So basically what happened, he had interned himself before to try to get better from his addiction. He had been there for around 14 months in total, and when he got out, that was like right when his mom was in her last days. She was like in her dying moments. And, you know, after his mom died and after he came out of his grief, he started making a lot of bad decisions, and you know, he started selling drugs, and he had to do things that he wished he never done. He was in his house one day, and you know, he felt like his mom was in the room, and what actually happened was there were people there that had broken into his house and they were trying to kill him. So he managed to escape that night. That morning at 1 in the morning, he left his house, and he managed to get enough money, scratched up enough money just to leave the town where he was in, and he moved to Jaco again. He came here with absolutely nothing. He didn't have food, anywhere to sleep, nothing. Met Ramu while he was working at the job site. That's kind of how he got involved with him, and you know, that's where when Ramu first told him about this place. Obviously, during this whole time in Jaco, he was still, you know, doing drugs at the time and everything, but he was able to, you know, come here. At first, he had a lot of doubts about where he was going to, and he really wasn't sure what was going to happen, but, you know, when he came here, really says he really felt God's presence and just, you know, he felt at peace.
Me brindan su ayuda, su cariño, su amistad.
And, you know, what he's saying is, you know, he's just glad to have a community that, you know, loves him and cares for him and prays for him, even though they might not know him or maybe they just met him. You know, he felt like he was just really, you know, included in the group, and he was just, you know, he's just so glad to be able to just have, you know, a sense of belonging again, and he feels like he has hope for his life once more. So, and,
Es una pieza de
Oh.
mi arte.
yeah. So now he's dedicated to doing a little bit more art here. So
Wow.
he's got you know, painting here. He's got Hebrews 11:16 in English too.
Yeah.
But without faith, it is impossible to please God.
Wow.
So, and,
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
It's great.
God bless you.
Wow.
Thank you.
You never think, you know, you see these people and you don't think.
You don't know.
You don't know. You don't know what everybody's going through. You have no idea. And you know, if you stay within your little bubble of people that you already know, you're never gonna see this, man. This is what we're called to, man. Go out unto all nations, you know, baptizing them, and preaching them. This is the healing of the nations, man. This is part of God's mission, man. And it's just beautiful to see that. And it's as natural as that. It's literally like, you know, we see people out there in the streets and we're like, they must be so far gone. They must be like, just, it's impossible to get back. Here's this guy right here.
Yeah.
You know.
The 2 days we spent at the farm were really impactful, both for us and the men working there. Being able to build these unique relationships and hear their stories really left us feeling like God was working through this place.
How many people is this? 12 people, one van.
Oh, and he's got the camera rolling.
Come on. We come to cross border.
Yeah.
Throughout the next few days, we had some much needed downtime.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In the evening, we visited the church and joined in on a young adults night. The next evening, we had an amazing dinner at a friend's house and spent time exchanging stories and growing closer. Later the next day, we rented ATVs and drove around exploring the island.
What is going on, guys? Somebody's out of oil, got a flat tire.
Living the dream, baby.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
So we just had the honor of being in church here. Great service on Galatians 1 this morning. We just got really filled up about preaching the true gospel, just being in fellowship here with all the amazing people that we've been able to hang with and connect with, and just kind of round out the trip, letting them know we're leaving tomorrow early. We just copped some new merch as well. Jesus Te Ama.
Hey.
Jesus Te Ama. And once we're done with brunch, we're going to go to the community pool, have some fellowship, hanging out, and just enjoying this last day, soaking up all that God has for us here.
Fun one. Can we fun one.
When we first arrived in Costa Rica, there was a phrase that everyone we met at the church used when talking about their time there. They said they were living on mission. And when we first arrived, I didn't understand what that meant. But by the end, I realized living for Jesus isn't just something you turn on or off. It's a full-time, 24/7 lifestyle. And it's something you can do from anywhere. So in the end, our trip to Costa Rica was a success. Not because it was the most fun trip, but because it was the most impactful. God is working.